Hi, this is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a basket weave pattern in Photoshop. First off, let's go ahead and create a new file and click on New File here. For this, I'm going to use the dimensions of 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels. Resolution set to 300 pixels per inch. Color mode is RGB color, and then background content set to transparent, and then click to create. To start this pattern, we are going to use the guides to help us set it up. So I'm going to go to View, Guide, New Guide Layout. For this, I'm going to do 8 columns and 8 rows, and then we'll go ahead and click on OK here. Accessing the Marquee tool here, I'm going to, for this, we are going to draw out a 4x2 rectangle here. And then I'm going to fill it with the foreground color here. If your colors are not set to default, you can hit D on the keyboard. To fill it with that foreground color, I'm going to go Option Delete for Mac, which would be Alt Backspace for PC. And then just to deselect that, Command or Control D. From here, I'm going to convert this into a smart object. So I'm going to go right click and then click on Convert to Smart Object. And then let's go ahead and duplicate that layer, Command or Control J, and then we'll access the Move tool, V. And then we want to position this in all of the 4 corners here. So let's just go Command or Control T, and then we'll type in 0 here for X and Y. And then you'll want to do the same thing for each of the corners here. I do have an action in my Photoshop actions for pattern design. In this case, I'm going to hit this 3 corners and it's going to go ahead and fill out the rest there. And then let's go ahead and duplicate that original one again, Command or Control J. This time we are going to rotate it 90 degrees. So let's access the Free Transform tool. Keyboard shortcut for that is Command or Control T. And then here under the rotation, we'll go ahead and enter 90 degrees and then click on OK. And then I'm going to move it to this top position here. So I'm going to go Command or Control T. And then we are going to bring it up to the top. So for our X, Y value, it is going to be 0. And we'll hit plus there. And then we also want it to repeat on the 2 sides here and also on the bottom. So let's go ahead and duplicate this again, Command or Control J. The transform, free transform, Command or Control T. And then we'll enter that value. The size of our canvas in this case is 1200 pixels. So we'll move it down there. We'll go ahead and duplicate that again, Command or Control J, Command or Control T to transform it. And then we'll enter, we want to be here on the left here, so we'll go our X value this time will be 0. And our Y value will be half of our canvas size, which is 600. And we'll position it there. And then we want to go one more to the side here. You can do it the same way. In this case, I have also created another action where I can go to the right 1200 pixels and it will easily duplicate it there as well. So I'm just demonstrating some of the actions that I do have in my Photoshop action for pattern design, but you can also do that with the free transform tool, Command or Control T. So we have the basic setup of our basket weave type pattern here. Let's go ahead and define this as a pattern. So we can go to Edit, Define Pattern. With the Patterns panel, you can also click on this plus icon here. If you do not see your Patterns panel, you're going to go to Windows and select Patterns here. So we'll go ahead and click that plus icon. You can give your pattern a name, and then we'll just click on OK. And let's go ahead and test that pattern in a new document. So I'm going to go File, New. This time I'm going to use the dimensions of digital scrapbook paper, which is 3600 pixels by 3600 pixels. Set resolution to 300 pixels per inch, color mode RGB color, background contents transparent, and then click Create. I'll go ahead and click on that pattern layer here, and we can see that basket weave style there. When you double click on this pattern fill layer, you always have the option to scale it down if you want. When this dialog box is open, you can even reposition it on the canvas. If you just want to get back to the original, just click on Snap to Origin there. You do have the option to change the angle, but what I find that this does take a lot of processing power, so I tend to not use this feature in Photoshop. So let's go ahead and click on OK here. Let's jump back into our original document here. And so I'm going to click into my Smart Object. Let's go ahead and turn off those guides, View, Guides, Clear Guides. And so we have our original Smart Object here. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to increase the bounds of this Smart Object. So I'm going to go to Image, Canvas Size, and I'm actually going to increase this canvas size of my Smart Object to the same size as our original document. So we'll go to 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels here and clicking on OK. And what that does is, if we jump back in here, you can just extend the size of this object here, and in this case it can overlap each other. So we'll try that out here. And I'm going to actually keep this original layer here, and this is going to be like your reference layer. You can always turn it on. Maybe we jump it down to 50% here. That way you want to know your original bounds of what that original Smart Object was, and you can have that as a reference here if you are planning on creating additional shapes or different things within this area. You'll know what that is. So we can go ahead and turn that off. And then let's just create a new shape. Let's try using our ellipse tool here, and then let's create just kind of a long oval here. We will get rid of our fill. Let's add a stroke. Let's try a stroke of 40. We will go 50 pixels here. And then I'm going to center that object there. We'll just go V for the move tool here. And then we can just use those guides to guide us there. So let's just save this here, Command and Control S to see what it looks like. And then we'll jump back into our original document here. And then we can see that we do have some overlap. I'm going to get rid of the canvas guides in this document now. So we'll go View, Guides, Clear Guides here. And then I'm going to zoom out, Command or Control with the minus key. And then let's go ahead and turn on our pattern preview tool just to see how this pattern looks in real time. So to do that, you're going to go to View, Pattern Preview. And then this will cause the pattern to extend so you can see how it looks as it repeats. So let's go ahead and save that with our plus icon. You can give the pattern a name here. And then we'll go back into our Smart Object. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So we'll just click on the ellipse tool here. We'll go to our properties. Let's go ahead and try 1000 just to make it a little bit longer here. We'll center that object again. I'm going to use one of my actions that's available in my Photoshop actions for pattern design, and it's just a quick way to center an object on the canvas here. So let's go ahead and save that, Command or Control S, and then we'll jump back into that original and we can kind of see how it overlaps. And in this case, I don't like the overlap as well as the original pattern. Maybe we make it a little bit fatter in this case and a little bit longer. So let's try our properties here again. Let's go 1100 here, and then we will make it fatter. Let's try 450. We'll go ahead and center that object again, save it, Command or Control S, and then let's just see how it looks here in our document. And that looks cooler. We have more negative space there. And so let's go ahead and save that pattern as well. So click on the plus icon and save it there. And then we'll just jump back into this digital scrapbook paper test here. And we can see our 2 additional patterns that we created here. Let's go ahead and add some color here. So I'm going to click on the adjustment layers here. We are going to add a solid color adjustment layer. We'll just start with black for the moment. And then I'm going to create a clipping mask. To do that, you can right click, create clipping mask, or you can hit the Option key for Mac or Alt key for PC. And then just hold that button and click between the layers to create that clipping mask. And then let's create one more solid color adjustment layer. Let's just go white for the moment, FFF, Clicking on OK, I'll drag that to the bottom, and that's now going to be our background layer. So then we can play with different colors here, and I'm just going to select from my options that I have here. So let's try a teal, and then maybe we go a little bit lighter here to add the color there. And again, we can just see how our various patterns look in this color here. And then when you find that you want to export your pattern as digital scrapbook paper, go to File, Save a Copy. And then here you can type in the name of your file, and then I'm just going to click on my computer here. You can give your file a name, and then under here, under Format, you'll want to make sure this is switched to JPEG. And we'll just go ahead and give it a name here, Teal Geometric. And then when you click to save it, here you can play with quality options. When we're dealing with digital scrapbook paper, you definitely want to make it high quality. So I just leave it quality at 10 maximum. And then we'll just click on OK to save that file there. Clicking back on our traditional basket weave pattern here, you can choose to save it as well. But we'll just jump back into our original. So this might not look as like a traditional basket weave pattern, but because we set it up with smart objects, we can create fun and unique patterns using this pattern setup. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. In this video, I used my Photoshop actions for pattern design, and I will leave a link to them in the description below. This is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. See you next time.